well, the audience that we're targeting would be like aspiring founders and like founders that very early stage, no, like ideation stage founders that they don't know what the next steps are. And then the thing about this program is we're just trying to answer this question, no, how to start a startup in the Philippines. Now, in your own experience, in your own words, in your own insights, diba? Some may have been easier than others. Some may have been harder than others. No, so this is kind of like, so I'm not gonna be the one to answer this question, how to start a startup in the Philippines. But basically, we're going to hopefully as a community answer this question for would-be aspiring founders and those early stage founders who's also trying to navigate this crazy startup world that we have. For aspiring founders na parang you're not really geeking out, you're just shopping around if this is actually a career path for you. If you're an aspiring founder or you're a student or you're a corporate person that you want to dive into the startup realm, then this is kind of like not even 101 eh. Parang this is like the summer edition, diba? Before even the real semester begins. No? So like very basic, and it's gonna be like founders for founders, rather than the usual case of non-founders, because they're uh, corporate people, tapos they're the ones who's actually advising founders. But there's nothing wrong with that. But we're trying to create a content that's going to be used for founders by founders. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So yun, that's gonna be like the backgrounder of this session. So call it session, call it meeting. Whatever. I don't even want to call it like a podcast or a webinar, because it's kind of like it's nascent stage. So we don't actually know what this could be, no? Sabi ko nga kay Miguel kanina, I want actually the first episode, so parang pangit yung lighting, parang so once that we have like a whole production studio, then we would be able to compare episode 1 from episode 100, if
Yeah.
we have, you know, yun. We're trying to answer the question how to start a startup in the Philippines, but I'm trying to like don't don't start a startup in the Philippines, because there are many ways that you can actually earn money. You can start a traditional business, you can be in corpo if money is just your motivation, right? And if you want to be no some sort of a personality, then you can just be a influencer, not really starting a startup. So starting a startup, uh, and it says here, so this is dated March 24 of last year. In Philippine Star, it says Philippines the worst country to launch a startup. No, and it says there because of the high cost of procedures. No, 23.3% is the cost of starting a startup. And then the tax is one of the highest in the region, about 25%, no? Di pa kasali yung VAT dyan, no? So there's even like 12% VAT. And then there's another article which is quite recent, no? It's just a couple of months ago. Dated May 15th, although this is like editorial or no, not. It says there, no, that to register a business in the Philippines, it would take 33 days. In our case nga, it's longer. Eh. So anyway, madami din akong hugot, but I'll start with you guys. No, and then the quality of life score is second, or second lowest. No, that's these are the journalists, and these are like research, from reputable sources like Hillstar and Inquirer. No, I don't think that they would uh, put out something or publish something that is uh, like not well researched, no. So what are your thoughts, no, for this, especially for Miguel? Like you're like the guy who's just starting a startup, tapos boom, meron ka na ito. Just don't, bro. Don't start a startup. Like you're like 22, bro. Pwede ka pang you can save yourself. You're not deep into it yet, no? So why you start a
Yeah.
startup now? So anyway, what is your reaction to this, no, article? And then what we actually suggest here is don't start a startup in the Philippines. So Miguel,
Honestly,
any
you
comment?
know, as a startup, this is basically my second journey already. Pero when I started my first one, I you just need to partner with the right people. That's it. Kasi like when I started, no, I started with people that already has the same business model as I already have, which during that time it was outsourcing. So having to piggyback on a company already that time, it's a lot more cost efficient. Kasi like, you're not necessarily doing all the registration muna and everything. The focus was, you're creating the money first,
So
piggybacking ka
ano to
muna.
na? So one of your recommendations is don't register yet.
Don't register
Is
yet.
that the case?
Parang marriage ring yun eh.
Okay, okay. So, yun. Ano na yun dun na, may nakuha tayong content na don't register yet.
Oo.
So,
Pero yeah,
anyway,
oo.
recorded naman to. Dito yung mga pangalan natin. So if like BIR or DTI would go after us, then let's go. Okay, anyway, you were saying, Miguel. Yeah, just a little few words from you. Ano ba?
Mm.
What else? What else?
Uh, and then, honestly, like doing piggybacking is a lot more, easier, because you just need to find a partner who has the same or shares the same vision as you. And most of the
Kukuha
time,
ko ng
kasi, as startups, we have, the only thing that we have are brilliant ideas. And what way to execute that with a partner that already has an existing model or existing, business model already. So for me, it's beneficial as a start kasi you can already get to the market as soon as possible and test it without having to register a business muna and then having all
right.
of the taxes so
Yun, no?
so
Yeah.
it's a good way to
So
start
yun yung
fast.
mga tricks, no? Huwag ka munang
Yeah.
maniwala sa BIR. Bahala sila dyan sa buhay. so so that was and then piggybacking on people that are already like seasoned in the business. That's what you're
Yeah.
saying, right? So
Exactly.
piggyback. How about Kenneth? What's your take on this one? Like
Yeah. Like
especially we're not from Manila, right? So it's actually different na at least guys from Manila like andyan lang yung kubo, andyan lang yung diba? Andyan lang you have like co-working spaces for free. But yeah, Kenneth, go ahead, bro. Again,
yeah.
dami kong diba? So anyway.
Yeah, I've been through a lot already since 2017, and one of the lesson I learned here in the Philippines, it's the worst market to introduce a tech startup. It's the worst, worst, worst. And though like a lot of people like your idea, a lot of people likes your product, but a lot of the almost all of them don't want to use your product. So that's really the challenge. And mostly here
Right.
in the Philippines, as a founder, is you try to work you try to work with a problem that you experience, right? Which is those problems also. It's the same with other people here in the country, but the problem is the adaptation here in the Philippines is really the worst one. And then that's why like after that is hey, let's go international. We're able to make money international, then why limit here in the Philippines, right? And another also mistake that we learn is we follow the traditional way in which having your own office right away at the beginning, in which we spend a lot of money, that OJ, we have our
Yeah, yeah.
office here in Cebu, and then there was really the most pressured
You know,
times
the
of my
office
life.
the table at the back of Miguel is actually Ken's table before.
Oh, really?
Now
We
it's in
sold it.
our office.
We sold it, bro. We move out. We move
For
out.
share na
So Kenneth paid full price, tapos no, we get a huge discount when we furnish our office.
We sold it.
Yeah.
We sold everything, and yeah, I learned a lot. And having like a co-working setup now is a lot better. You don't have a lot of obligations every day. You are flexible. You can go to places anywhere. And yeah, before it was really difficult. So those are the things that are really uh learn from our, especially in starting here in the Philippines. So, yeah. So
And just for context, Ken is a hardcore tech guy, no? He actually teaches no computer
oh yeah.
science,
Yeah,
engineering, and
I resigned last semester, so I teach computer science and technopreneurship, so engineering also.
so he's hardcore tech guy, and coming from a hardcore tech guy to saying na it's the worst to launch a tech company in the Philippines, no? That says a lot, no? But yun, mamaya himayin pa natin, no? Why are we still doing what we do, right? But I want to hear from Vince first, no? Yeah, bro. What are your thoughts on these studies that
Yeah,
we're
very, very interesting points coming from both of the speakers earlier. But Pare Ojik and I started, of course, informing even the new ones. Can you hear me?
Yep. Loud and
Informing
clear.
informing the users right now. Ano ba talaga yung startup para at least para dun sa mga hindi alam, malaman nila. So based on Forbes, startups are businesses that want to disrupt industries and change the world and do it at scale. So by definition, if you start a business and if you can't change the world out of it, you do not have the inspiration to change the world out of it, you can't disrupt industries. Technically, hindi ka nasa sa startup world. Nagsimula ka lang ng negosyo muna. But is it bad? It's not bad. We have to start from somewhere. Uh, Now, I agree with you that starting a startup in the Philippines, starting a venture that you want to change the world here in the Philippines is really difficult. I've asked around people around the world. There are investors already interested with Milo, with my company. And when they ask, so what country are you from? I'm from the
Philippines.
Philippines. Nako, back off ng konti. Where are you incorporated? Philippines.
Nako.
When I
Eh,
asked this, they answered, you really have a good startup. I'm just afraid to invest in you because the ease of doing business in the Philippines is not good. Just to sign up for an SEC in your country, it takes you not 33 days, more than 3 months in
yeah,
actuality. That's
exactly.
what,
Kaya nga, 33 days, I don't even know where they got this number. But in our experience, like 2.5 months.
Sa amin,
yeah,
bro, during pandemic, it was 6 months.
6 months, di ba?
it's 33 business days, not including the weekend.
Oh
So,
yeah, that's right. We have to
so
change this at 33 business days.
yeah, and
Approximately 3 months.
so I agree with Miguel na wag ka muna mag-start mag sign up i-register yung business mo. Why? Because there are a lot of validations that we have to do a startup. So when we start a startup, where do we begin? We always begin with the inspiration. Ano bang inspiration mo para gawin yan? Di ba? If you want to start a startup because you want to be called the startup founder, just because, alam mo yun, para malabel ka lang, then you're starting on a wrong foot. Di ba? When you start with a very strong inspiration, let's say, for example, Kenneth, he wants to make the lives of the teachers easier. In the beginning, Kenneth, yun yung simula, di ba?
Yes.
But now you're helping a lot of professionals globally,
Yeah. Can I share
making
more
their
about that
lives
too?
easier.
Yeah. Can I share? So the problem here is a lot of teachers really likes our products here in the Philippines, but the problem is when we introduce to the teachers, they want, to ask permissions in the institutions, and then we
Which
introduce to the
is
institutions. Oh my
Uh,
God, it's very
so,
difficult.
so basically, the users who wanted to use the product is is parang merong gine-gatekeep nung
gate.
admin
Yeah,
because the power of the purse is not within the teachers. It's in procurement and bidding and ano yan, dapat na may TOR, all of these processes that startups cannot
Don't have.
compete. Right.
In
Yeah,
the
they
beginning,
don't
wala.
have. Hahanapan ka ng AFS for 3 years. 3 months
Ah,
old ka pa.
di
Di ba?
ba?
So
So,
yeah, that's good.
so that's what I really like about what Kenneth does eh. Nag-uumpisa pa lang sabi ko, uy, it's a very simple solution to a problem that is existing globally. So nung magkasama kami sa Arise ni Kenneth eh. Tapos, makikita mo talaga yung growth, ang bilis. Give it a few months, mauunahan pa ako niyan. Kasi, the problem that Kenneth is solving is not only for a niche market. It's a market that can be used by every business person, by every student, by every professional. Kumbaga parang Canva.
So,
So
so,
the
so
scale
right
of
now, yeah, it's no longer a technical problem. It's probably a marketing or a business model problem
yeah. That's
that
our issue.
you're, di ba? Parang yun na yung
yeah,
kailangan mong i-solve because the technical,
ayan na.
Yeah.
yeah, the technical is already
Agree.
there.
Good problems.
And we were grilled a lot, bro, during the final pitch because what we want is to, when you pitch kasi is you like, to focus on a market where there's an impact, right? And then of course the more impactful market is really the educations. But they always say, no, there's no money in educations.
Right,
You
right.
really have to navigate. And yeah, we keep defending that. But now is we're trying to let's do this instead trying to focus by one market. Let's try to find what works and then try to be flexible in our business model. And yeah, we navigated a lot like for the past 2 to 3 weeks.
According to statistics as well, no, within the first 5 years, 99% of startups actually fail. And these are the reasons why, according to LinkedIn, poor product market fit, wrong marketing strategies, team issues, cash flow, whatever, right? So now, sabi ni Kenneth, Philippines is the worst, no? But tanggalin natin yung Pilipinas, it's still 99% of startups wherever they are in the world fail. Right. So what's your take on this? Vince, let's start with you. Yeah.
So
And then
the
what
odds,
you're doing, like you already know, ang yabang mo ba dahil ikaw yung magiging 1%?
hindi no?
Like ako,
Actually,
ako that was like, give me a second, bro. Like I
uh,
think that was me. Like ang yabang ko, like, yeah, I'm narcissistic enough to tell, like, yeah, I'm gonna be the 1%. But that's not, like, every founder is built differently. No,
yeah.
I know you guys know me. I'm out there. I'm also like, I'm a hustler, but at the same time, I can bullshit my way in and out of things. So I have that gift of gab that I would be able to use those talents, no. Buti na lang I'm morally upright, kaya di tayo scammer. Pero if that was the case, if I grew up differently, then I would have been scamming and doing like crypto shit and things like that. So now we're here in the startup space because it's challenging. It's a whole lot of hard work, and challenging is an understatement. But that's for me. It's just and we know that 99% of startups fail, but that belief that you can be that 1%, and you are able to communicate that to your team, na ngayon yung team mo na rin naniniwala na rin na you will be that 1%, then that just gives us a lot of parang vigor to like really ride the wave and see it through, because everybody knows from the very beginning it's going to be hard as fuck, right? So that's so it actually this would go in favor for us, because we just think that we're just gonna be that 1%. But ayun, Vince, I know you have a very different approach to this one.
Yeah.
You're
So
you're bad
yeah,
with people, like
I agree with you. I have a 180-degree approach to this. So I don't look at the statistics. I don't hope to be the 1% or the 10% of 90% of that survives. One thing that I can tell the startups, the people who want to do startups now, is first do a business prior. A small business na sobrang hirap buhayin. Why? Because mapapractice mo kung paano, on how you can make that business survive. The reason why I don't look at the statistics is that I don't want to be the 10%. I just don't want my company that is tantamount to my son die. It's a company that I made for my son. So if you look at the finances of our company, it took me 10 months to properly pay myself before I properly pay myself. For the first 6 months, I was not paying myself because I was giving it back all to the company so we could grow. That's
and
the
then for
biggest
context,
difference.
si Vince, ang daming restaurant yan, may hotel yan. Tapos biglang nag-start
Hotel
up.
management naman. so,
No? No?
so I closed everything down. Ang last business I closed down last January. I had 7 small ones, but it was comfortable enough for our family just to live a very simple um life. I mean, we can afford, we can uh so that's the difference. Now,
So,
what I
why were you able
seen,
to, bro,
yeah, go ahead.
just side lang. So before you have like 7 businesses, and then
Yeah.
no, when we spoke the last time, parang sabi mo na focus na talaga ako dito. Why can't you
No.
8, di ba? Ba't kailangan dito sa startup, eto lang
You know
talaga, hindi
why?
7?
This is the first ever in my business, in my entrepreneur. I'm not speaking as a startup, as an entrepreneur, as a business guy. This is the first time that I saw a scale. This is the first time that I saw serving 60,000 people. Tapos, yung hockey stick growth, yung pa ganon,
Yeah, that's right.
pag makita mo yun, parang nasa tamang landas ata ako, kailangan ko na mag 100% focus. So, but then again, all of those stuff are, for me, it's secondary. Pero nakakakilig pa rin if you see na parang, uy, growing fast, la 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 la. But then again, one of my very good friends told me, hoy, huwag ka masyadong tumingin sa ganyan. That's vanity metrics. And that friend of
Sorry
mine
na.
is OJ Lopez. Ginano niya yung ano ko eh. I was able to parang to reflect and have a new perception of things. Sabi niya, pare, numbers lang yan. Magkano na ba kinikita mo? Sabi ko, habang naman itong taon to. Ang
Sorry na,
saya-saya ng
yabang
feeling
talaga
ko,
ako eh.
binasag niya. But, that statement really changed how I perceive things. Na parang, oh, tama, bakit nga ba ako masaya sa PR? Bakit nga ba ako masaya sa growth namin? Eh, sa totoong buhay naman, wala namang kwento yan. Pag ninegosyo ko, wala kang kita, wala rin naman eh. Diba? In a few months, mamatay ka rin. Diba? So, I mean, yeah, one thing that I can say to people who want to do their own startup, who wants to change the world, you try doing business. Because if you try doing business, you will see how to do your accounting, you will see how to market yourself and at least get revenue. Because if you want to do a startup, those factors are very important. And if wala ka ng foundation na yun, it would be very hard. And I think that's one of the reasons why for other countries, it's much easier for them. Yung mga Stanford, bakit ba sila magagaling? Kasi napag-aralan nila yun eh. Di ba? On the other hand, we are, again, as I've said earlier, the odds are against us in the Philippines. That's why we have to equip ourselves with the right experience as entrepreneurs, then change the world. That's my take.
Miguel, quickly, bro. What's
Yes.
your take on this? Like, you
Um,
already know, like 99% is gonna fail.
yeah.
Yeah. Are you like Vince, who's not looking at the numbers, and because he's also all in, and it's also personal for him, or like you're egotistical? I don't know. You think that you're gonna be the 1% just like us.
I think for me, it's more of like just prepare to fail, right? Failure isn't bad. For me, in general, when it comes to startups or trying something out, I I want to succeed, right? But in terms of yung feel ko na I have to fail first in order to succeed later on, right? So fail now, succeed later. So for me,
So if Z Plats wouldn't take off the ground, no, for you that's just part of the journey.
yeah. The thing is that most of the
You're also like
startups
22, right? So you have a lot of years left, man. Like you can do like
yun nga
five
eh. That's
startups
why I
in the
love
next
doing
five
this
years.
on my on my very very early years. Doing it in my prime years so that I have 1 decade or 10 yeah 1 decade until 30, 'di ba? Na I can fail so many times
Oh,
and
Patrick,
learn how things are going to in my doing several approaches, but in general, I don't take things personally when it fails. Kasi, at the end of the day, yung makuha ko naman, it's more than, the knowledge that I've gained is more than whatever. So, um, but in general, what failure really, what makes you,
that's I think
uh,
it's your advantage. If there was like the startup world when I was 22, I would have not gone to school, man. Like if alam ko lang may option pa lang ganito, diba? I would have not like spent 10 years in college. No, but it was fun. But no,
yeah,
if meron palang career option na you can not have a degree and uh the upside of what you're trying to do is gonna be surpass the normal career path of most people. Uh,
mm,
then I think that's to your advantage, no, Miguel, na you're 22, right? 22, 23.
yeah, 22.
20, if I was 22, bro, and I already know like there's a startup ecosystem and all that. Oh man, simula na talaga dapat ako. So because we started, I was already like 30. When
Right.
we started the company, and because there was no education at our time, no, like we don't
Yeah.
even know this was actually possible for us. It was like the degree, no, and then get a good job, and then hopefully climb up the corporate ladder, and you'll
Mm.
get a corner office someday when you're like 50. But yung pala, pwede pala agad, no? You can like shortcut and create your own company and put there in your business card, I'm CEO, bitch. Right?
Well,
Yeah, these championship rings on my hands now.
Is it easier to just migrate elsewhere? Diba? And start the startup not in the Philippines and you have more chances of success? Or like the Philippines, because we have the chip on the shoulder and long term, it could be like the next startup hub. So,
If
yan,
so,
Paul. Yeah.
sige, sige,
Like
sige.
if you have the capacity and hindi mo kailangan bigyan ka agad ng startup visa, lipad ka, punta ka States, punta ka Canada, punta ka Dubai, punta ka wherever you want to, where your startup could thrive. Would you jump at that opportunity, or you're stubborn enough to do it in the Philippines with all the shit that we have just mentioned, and then because long term you think that that chip on the shoulder would actually be, a arsenal or the bullet that would actually propel you to the next level, because you would undergo all these hardships, and once you reach the top, then the view is more uh it's more beautiful than if it is given, or if it is much easier than you have expected. Okay. Kenneth, migrate or Philippines?
Yeah, migrate. Or
You
register,
get
at least register your business in Singapore or
right,
another
right, exactly.
or in US.
At least register.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
But
get
no hope the Philippines if you want to raise a lot of funding, no hope.
Oh, you guys asking, right?
yeah.
Okay.
If it's like, if you have that opportunity to just migrate
Yeah,
elsewhere and
actually,
start.
ako I would migrate as well. If if like monetary
Yeah, kaya nga, like there's no
yeah, I
issue,
would.
like bigyan ka agad
Yeah,
ng opportunity. Yeah.
I would.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
how about Vince? Oo nga, ikaw, magka-Canada ka na nga dapat eh.
No, wait lang. Medyo plastic ang sagot ko.
Sabi mo, go.
So
Yan yung gusto
if
ko
your
sa'yo eh.
business,
May curveball ka eh. Oo.
mana ako sa'yo eh. So if your business requires for you to migrate, then migrate. But if you're still on the validation phase, mag-validate ka muna ng Pilipinas. Kasi mas mura pa dito mag-validate eh.
For
Di
sure.
ba?
That's
It's
true.
much
Yeah.
easier for us to run a company here. But then again, for growth, it's much easier to sell outside.
Yeah.
So it's a mix. It's a mix. But if you're gonna ask me kung
Right.
magmamigrate ka ba kasi mas maganda ang buhay na maibibigay mo sa anak mo, oh yes.
So like
Yes.
3
And
out of 3, right? So,
yeah.
and si Patrick, he's from Toronto, he's from Canada, and then he went to the Philippines. But naman hawak naman niya yung buong Aspire Philippines. So that's
I mean, it's more of
yeah.
like 50-50, diba? Kasi like, if you wanna start here, you can probably start here, but when you start expanding, then that's the only time that you start migrating. Something like
So
that.
this is the next question that I would ask ka. Now, what would be the first skill or value? So papunta na tayo dun. So now we have already shitted on the startup space. We already parang natin nag-ano na tayo. Yung hugot natin, binigay na natin lahat. But before we go here, for me, I would stay in the Philippines just because of that na I would be a snowbird. Like, I'll have my permanent residence in the Philippines, diba? But then during spring and summer, I'll be like, just right now, I'm in the States. I'm touring around. But then I'll have my permanent residence in the Philippines. I'm probably gonna be going, 2, 3, 4 months. Go to the countries that I would want to expand to. But then, still live in peso, diba? Like in the Philippines, you have a maid, you have a driver. I mean, it's not far fetched for a upper middle class to have a maid, right?
Yeah.
Or even a middle class person to have a maid in the Philippines. But in developed countries, no, you have to be the upper echelon of the society for you to be able to afford a butler. So iba yung so that's just mean like in terms of quality of life, especially if you would have like international clients and things like that. I would still prefer to live in the Philippines, but then explore opportunities globally, and then earn in dollars, spend in peso. That's me, and we have that a unique opportunity kasi we have different startups, and our startups enables us for us to do that. What would be like a first skill or value that you want to have, or a God-given talent that you want to have, before starting a startup? What's that first thing that is for you is a prerequisite for a founder, in order for them, pag para sa it's like, because you have that, that's why you're doing your journey. I like a lot of us, we have reached our milestones, but we're still not the Googles and the Teslas of the world. We're still a long way, right? But yeah, for you, what would have that first gear? Ken?
Yeah, yeah. For me, simple lang talaga. Be a hacker and a hustler. I really like solving problems. I easily get frustrated with processes from the Philippines, and um, be a hustler also. Try to sell your products here in the Philippines. Try to introduce some markets, and so on and so forth, just for you to uh survive as a founder, or as at least as a person, right? So yun lang talaga. And then moving forward, if you get
That's a
something more,
rare characteristic, no? Because usually the tech guys, they don't want to talk to people, no.
yeah,
But
yeah.
Ken has, a unique skill set, no, being a hacker and a hustler at the same time, which is, very
It saves a lot of money.
for sure, for sure. But it also gives you more chances of winning, di ba?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
you're you're basically two person that could, do both things at the same time. You can,
yeah,
sell
yeah,
your service
yeah.
at the same time. You can code. No, for me, I'm just the bullshitter, so I can't really code. So yeah, Miguel,
Actually, for me, two things. Sell effectively, and the other one is
sales,
learn. Ano yan?
sales. You said
Yeah,
sell effect.
sales. Yeah, like to
Yeah.
sell the product effectively to people. And the other one is to know how to create your own product from foundation, because it's a lot easier to just find the talents na, kasi you're the ones who made it, like
Right.
what to look for. So it's a lot easier to oversee everything if you have these two things. This is my idea. Yeah.
I have advice for Miguel. There's this no na. First time founders focus on product. Second times second time founders focus on distribution. They don't actually care if they know how to make the product or not. They just know that there are people who's gonna buy it. Right? So anyway, again, you're 22, bro. Like having you in this conversation, there's gonna be a lot of gold for you. So no, I totally understand where you're coming from, but take that into consideration. That
Yeah.
second time founders, now they focus more on the distribution than product creation. This product, no,
Parang bigger picture na siya, no? Yeah.
right, right. But then again, you said sales at the first, first also, you said two things. So yeah,
Mm-mm, two things.
on point, on point. Vince,
So I'd like to add also on that. Miguel, if you download Milo right now,
Yeah.
our product is not perfect.
Mm.
Nagka-crash pa siya. We have same photos in our thumbnails. We're still trying to iterate. I'm spending a lot on iterating the product per se. But the main goal is release the product, see how much users they can get, push on marketing. Tapos they would actually tell you how to improve. You won't
yep.
think about it anymore because if you talk to
Customer
users,
feedback is
yeah.
your road.
So
Get it out there as soon as
so
possible.
yeah. So and this is a conversation that we have made with my tech guy.
Mm.
Sabi niya, Vince, I want the product to be perfect. Ayokong mapapahiya ako. So when I told him, hey, sino ba magsasorry? Ikaw ako. Ako naman kakausap sa kanila eh. I will talk to all of them. You're just the back end, di ba? So I launch the product, I will say sorry to everyone, right? Then
I think that's one
fortunately,
of the hardest, no, like for you to actually sell people on your idea, on your vision of the world that's not there yet.
yes. So yes. And after
Yun, yeah,
piggybacking
yeah,
on that,
back to the question, bro.
yeah.
Let's keep it
Back to the
rolling.
question, yeah. So the first thing, I agree with Miguel, become a master salesperson. Dahil si OJ, master sales yan eh. Bullshitter yan eh. Galing mag-convince ng mga tao yan eh. Second is just have a background on entrepreneurship. If you want to study masters, then go. If you want to try and make mistakes on a small business, then great. Just know how you run an effective, an efficient business, because that would save you a lot in the long run.
And there's also like going to stats again, no? Like 35 to 45 year old founders now are the most likely. Well, like they have. I mean, there are founders who are successful in their 20s, but the most likely build a sustainable business because so it's that age range, no, 35 to 45.
Yeah.
But for me, no, so talagang inano ko to, no. I think that the first for everybody, for everyone is actually self-awareness. Whether you are fit for a founder or not. Kasi if you're self-aware that you're no a employee, no, there's nothing wrong becoming an employee. No? A lot of our majority of the people that we have in the world are employees. So there's nothing wrong becoming an employee, and if you're self-aware, no, na ayoko yung ano na yan, like I don't want the weight of all the responsibilities towards me, then you don't need to be a founder, no? And it's not, it's okay. It's okay not to be an entrepreneur, especially if your like parents are entrepreneurs and you're deep in the tech scene, but then you're not really a founder, and then for yourself, pero andun ka na, kaya pa-founder ka na lang, no? So that's, I think, self-awareness, and also the same thing with those who are employed, but they have that entrepreneurial itch. No? They are actually self-aware that no, I want to make something of my own. I want to be my own boss, and those are like indicators, no, that you want to be a founder, or you want to build your own startup, even if you don't have an idea or a product yet. No, just being self-aware that you want to do something on your own, and then iba din yun. Like, there are also multiple founders that you can be the number two guy. You can be like a great COO or you're great CFO, but you can never be a great number one guy. No, you can never be a great. And then sometimes, no, na you're a very good number two, and then you quit because you want to start up your own, so you can be the number one, and then you fell off your ass because no, you're not really fit to be a number one. You're fit to be the best number two there is, right? So deep self-awareness is something that I would really recommend for aspiring founders to have. If this is not just hype, di ba? Pag hindi ka makatulog kasi gusto mo talagang gawin yung idea mo, or you just saw the documentary of how Facebook came to be, or you just watch the Spotify, how Spotify and Netflix, now you wanna build an app, right? So those are, I think, yun na nga, ano, is the first thing that would be founders, aspiring founders, is to really self-assess, whether you are cut for it or not, because as we already did all our hugot. Hard is an understatement, and it's going to take the next 7 to 10 years of your life away from you, and if you're trying to be someone that you're not, then you're just gonna be miserable at the end.
Yeah, what's good, bro? You popping out?
So all the big dreamers out there, hindi naman yan nilagay dyan, just because if you're like, if you talk to like an ambitious person, he's ambitious because it was there inside him, and a lot, and it's not been put there by a higher being, just because gusto lang nilang mang-asar, di ba? Hi, gusto mo yan, pero hindi namin bibigay sa'yo. That doesn't mean it's gonna be easy. That's why hustle porn, di ba? Gusto natin mahirapan lagi. And that's how startups are built. That big dream, would have not been put inside of you if you don't have the capacity to achieve it.